Good morning, Wood County Republicans. It's our monthly newsletter, and since it's November and election season, we decided to focus on some contested races in our area for City Council. We'll be speaking with Bowling Green contestants and Perrysburg City Council contestants. This morning, I have the privilege of sitting with Jonathan Smith, who's running for re-election in Perrysburg City Council. Thank you, Mr. Smith, so much for speaking with us today. Would you like to talk to us a little bit about what your goals are for re-election this year on City Council?
Yeah, so for my first term, during that 4 years, we have become the #1 place in Ohio to raise a family, and I would like to continue keeping us there at that top of that list, as well as making fiscally conservative decisions, promoting our businesses, and making sure this is continue to be a great place to live, work, and raise a family.
Very good. Congratulations on that award. It's great for Perrysburg. It's also really wonderful for Wood County. Talk to me a little bit about the qualifications and why you're seeking the office.
So I'm a BGSU grad with a major in finance and a minor in applied statistics. I do run my family business as well as own another business. I am on the board of the Fort Meigs Union Cemetery as well as in the Wood County Transportation Improvement District. And I am the chair of our public utilities as well as on the Recreation and Planning and Zoning Committee. And I served on the Board of Zoning Appeals as chairman for 3 years prior to actually running the first time.
Very good. Thank you so much for that. Talk to me a little bit about some areas of your platform that you're focusing on. I believe you talked about parks before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to elaborate a little on that?
So one of the things that I think, and this kind of goes hand in hand with some of the questions I've been getting as we've been knocking on the doors, is with the growth of the city and the school growth in the district, is parks are going to be imperative, and we have $419,000 sitting in an account that we can utilize as earmarked specifically for a park purchase. And we need to buy that land somewhere on the western side of town, because the furthest west park we have is Rivercrest Park. And that is not a, it's leaving a majority of our citizens on the western side without a park within walking distance, and that's something we should really look at doing. And it will also help take some land away that may not be developed as homes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today. Wood County, we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you so much. Good morning, Wood County. I'd like to remind all of us why we are here today. Well, Dr. Franklin, what have you given us? And he responded, "You have a republic if you can keep it." And it is in the spirit of those words spoken by Dr. Benjamin Franklin that we come here today, to become a more informed electorate so that we can keep this great republic. We have the privilege of sitting with Dustin Decker this morning. He is running for a seat at the Perrysburg City Council. Dustin, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to meet with us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Would you like to tell us a little bit about why you would like to be elected to the Perrysburg City Council?
Sure. So I decided to run because I am in a demographic that often gets forgotten about. Single dads, single families, and I just want to be a voice for those in Perrysburg who are just like me, single dads, living paycheck to paycheck, and that is a voice we need on Perrysburg City Council.
You said that you wanted to focus heavily on taxes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So anytime taxes get raised and anywhere, everybody's affected, specifically people like me and my demographic. And I just want to make sure that the tax dollars that do come into Perrysburg are wisely used and they're put to good use and not wasted in any way.
That's great. Tell us a little bit. I know you have a background in volunteering at the different law enforcement levels. Would you like to talk about dispatch or anything along the law enforcement lines?
Yeah, so for about 5 years I volunteered as a police auxiliary officer and eventually sergeant with the North Baltimore Police Department in southern Wood County. And in that time frame I also served as a police dispatcher. And so I have a lot of support for our law enforcement. I definitely want to see our police dispatch stay in the city of Perrysburg, and I want to be support for our law enforcement officers. They need somebody that supports them in a legislative role in Perrysburg City Council.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. We'd like to say get out and vote Tuesday, November 5th. Good afternoon, Wood County Republicans. I have the privilege of sitting here with Ryan Holley today. He's a contested candidate for the Bowling Green City Council. Mr. Holley, Would you tell us a little bit about why you think you're qualified, especially when it regards to the economic development piece of your background?
Absolutely. Well, it's no secret that Bowling Green is basically hemorrhaging to the other local communities or competition. I've been chair of the Planning Commission. I've served on the Planning Commission for over 9 years. Recently, I've been the Planning Commission's representative to the Reinvestment Council of Economic Development Foundation. And when we are learning about their strategic advantages and challenges of local industry, guess what? It's always employment is the number one challenge. Paired that with my background in housing, with an industry I just left at the end of last year, I think I'm uniquely qualified to take a look at the Welcome BG initiative. How can we bring more potential employees into the community, find them homes, provide for them homes, and with the Planning Commission tie into that with zoning, the ordinances, trying to make these regulations less restrictive so they don't result in restrictive development. If we can partner all that together, look at it as one big picture and how everything is tied in, I think that it's pretty clear that I'm the clear choice for who can come into this position, hit the ground running, and bring BG back to where it needs to be, as opposed to continually losing to our neighbors.
Absolutely. What a great explanation of why it is that you should be voted in. There you go, Wood County. Thank you so much. Hello, Wood County. Tiffany Densic here with another election edition for our monthly newsletter. Before we get started, I'd like to give you something to think about. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. That was spoken by Thomas Jefferson. I'd like to kind of continue with that liberty and freedom thought. I have the privilege of sitting right here with Bill Harold. He is currently running for re-election, City Council, 4th Ward with Bowling Green. Mr. Harold, thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it. What would you like to tell young folks getting into the public service arena about how to prepare and what to do?
Well, there's about 6 points that I would like to say to my fellow young folks. One is everybody has an inner desire to be a part of something greater than themselves. I happen to think that's God-given, but regardless, that's in everyone. Some people suppress it. So if you can recognize that and build on that, that's a good first step to be a part of something greater than yourself. The second point is it's public service. It's not being a politician, it's being a public servant. And if the motivation is to serve, then that's the right motivation. We have seen places where that's not necessarily the case, where it's a thirst for power or division. But be pure, it's to serve. If your motivation is that, then you're on the right track. Third is prepare yourself. Start off with something more basic and work your way up. Maybe a board, maybe volunteering. There's so many opportunities. And then gain the experience and the maturity, and then work your way up. As you're faithful in the little things, you'll be faithful in the big things. And then also it gives you that kind of foundational education and experience to do better things. Don't try and just jump to the top. And obtain a deep knowledge about subjects, not superficial. We in society now we have far too many people that just get a superficial understanding of something, yet believe they have a deep understanding. Don't fall in that trap. Go for a deeper understanding. And part of that is seek out those that have differing views than you and differing approaches, and find out what they're thinking, so that not necessarily to change their mind or to refute it, but to increase your own understanding with different perspectives. And then the last point is the ends never justify the means. If you get into the point where you're doing something because you think it's a righteous cause, but it's doing something that isn't good, then you reset, because the ends never justify the means. We have a need for people that are approaching things the proper way. And that would be some of what I would tell.
Very good. Well, thank you so very much. We really appreciate your time. Vote for liberty and freedom next Tuesday, November 5th.